Hey friends, it's Bridget. Thanks for being here. If you caught a recent video that I shared, I talked about how I'm already a couple weeks behind in my creative journaling or memory keeping journaling for the month of August. So I previously did some page prepping with just background watercolor, some date labels, and a few borders and washi at the beginning of the book, but that was basically all I had time to get done in about a 45-minute session. So I'm taking another 45 minutes or so today to continue trying to catch up in this journal. I've mentioned in the past, and I'm sure most people feel this way, that ideally I prefer to do this type of journaling either on the same day or within, a day or two after, just because I feel that the content of the journal is more meaningful and accurate when you do it in that timely fashion. All of the events of the day, as well as your thoughts and feelings and just, how you felt about that day, are more fresh, and I feel like that results in a better journaling page. But sometimes life happens and we find ourselves behind like this, and so if you're like me, I would rather see those pages filled even if they're not filled on the day of. So by no means am I saying that you have to complete every single page in a dated journal, but for me, I enjoy seeing those pages filled, and that's what I'm trying to work toward and to get caught up on the past 2 weeks so I can be current for the rest of the month. Now, I started on the 1st of August today, just a few minutes before turning on the camera, and I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and make another video of this because I know I have found in my personal experience, if I'm trying to catch up like this, I tend to be more efficient if I do what I call like batch journaling and do several pages at one time. So like taking those, date labels, for example, and just putting the whole month down at one time. Instead of trying to do a complete day or a complete spread in one session, I like to take one or two components and do the whole section that I'm trying to catch up on. So what I'm going to do in this 45 minutes is hand letter my day of the week and then write out a quote. And the quotes that I'm using for the month of August are going to have a bit of a theme. I'm revisiting a book that I purchased and read some time ago, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Really awesome book. If you haven't read it, highly recommend. But a lot of the goals that I have for myself for the month of August would all be better served if I'm able to establish some better habits and routines this month. So I'm gonna kind of make a theme of it and do a quote from the book as well as hand lettering for each day. So let me know what some of your tips are, if you have any tried and true or kind of go-to methods. If you find that you're behind in your journaling and you're trying to catch up, do you do the same thing and kind of batch journal, or do you find that it is better to do a full spread at one time? Another tip that I have, and this is just what works for me, is let's say, for example, you are, like I am right now, 2 weeks or approximately 14 days behind. What I'll do at the end of this 45-minute session, or at least before I go to bed tonight, is I'll go to today's current day and go ahead and do that single day spread fully. Because if I only work on the catching up, then I'm steadily losing time, and I'm never, or at least prolonging that catching up to what I was mentioning earlier, like being able to have everything fresh on your mind for that actual day. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm rambling. But what I'll do from this point forward, now that I'm investing in catching up, is I will do the current day's spread, and then I'll go back and try to do as much catch up as possible, if that makes sense. I find that that definitely works better for me. So I like to outline my hand lettering with a ballpoint pen, but this marker that I use, the Zig Clean Color Dot, it is pretty juicy. So I'm going to go ahead and do the quote for this Wednesday, August 2nd, while I wait for that marker ink to dry. And this is the freebie Hobonichi brush pen that came, if you ordered directly from Hobonichi a few years ago. I don't know if it has a year on here or not. It doesn't. I would say within the past 2 to 3 years, this was one of the freebies. Okay. So we're going to say habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Dot, dot, dot. I'm going to skip a few sentences. And when I've read this book in the past, I've highlighted. And so that's making it easy to go back and skim and find quotes that I know were meaningful to me because I already have them highlighted. So that's another helpful tip. Let's see, the effects of your habits. Multiply as you repeat them. That brings to mind the word snowball or snowball effect. They seem to make little difference. On any given day. And yet the impact they deliver over the months and years can be enormous. It's James Clear. Atomic Habits. What I really like about this book is these little quotes like this. Even if I haven't read it in a long time, just even taking one almost out of context, they all are very motivating to me. It's a very motivating book, regardless of, where you are in your journey. So I'm going to go ahead and write out the day of the week. So this ink can be drying while I outline this, and this is going to be Thursday. I just have a little cup of random markers here within my grasp, and so what I usually grab for hand lettering are either the Zig Clean color dots. I find that they work really well for block print. They have that kind of bubbly effect, or the Zebra mild liner brush pens. I think those are the main two in this cup. And then another favorite brush pen that I like that gives really nice control is the Sailor Shikiori Twin brush tip marker set. Let's see here. I'm going to outline Wednesday. Hope y'all are all doing well. Let me know what stage of your creative journey you're in right now, or what phase rather you're in. Are you still doing this type of journaling, or have you been investing your time in another style? I've also been doing quite a bit of junk journaling in my time. I almost said spare time, and that's kind of laughable, but time that I claim. Another type of journaling that I really enjoy that I haven't been doing lately, but I would love to eventually resume, is morning pages. And I believe the name of that book that inspired that concept is The Artist's Way. I read it some time ago, but I didn't purchase the physical copy, so I don't have it where I can refer back to highlighted quotes or anything. I read it in like a digital format on my Kindle app, but the most beneficial thing that I took from that book was the concept of morning pages, which is just 3 pages of stream of consciousness writing, just to clear your head. And it's been said to unblock creativity if that's an issue for you. And I've done it off and on multiple times over the years since I read that book. So that's another style of journaling that I would like to revisit. I think morning pages would actually go very well hand in hand with the Atomic Habits book, because it's about building that discipline of taking some time for yourself in the morning to do those pages. Okay. So let's go with another quote. I'm going to start on the bottom half of the page this time. Making a choice. That is 1% better. And I'm abbreviating. I'm not putting quotations because like he actually typed out the word percent, but I'm kind of paraphrasing here. 1% better or 1% worse seems insignificant in the moment, over the span of moments that make up a lifetime. And this is real time. I'm not adjusting the speed on this video at all. So you can see that I'm kind of messily jotting these down. Let's see. But over the span of moments that make up a lifetime, these choices determine the difference between who you are. Ooh, I like this one. And who you could be. It's the could. That's the key word there. Success is the product of daily habits. Not once in a lifetime transformations. And y'all are welcome to use these quotes if you hear one that speaks to you as well. But even though this is just quick, messy, like I'm really not focusing on hand lettering practice or what have you, I like the way this writing turns out with the brush pen. There's a little line variation in there anyway. Okay, so that's Wednesday and Thursday. So we're going to hand letter Friday and Saturday. How we doing on time? Oh, we're doing good on time. I might get a lot done in this one. Okay, let's see. There's kind of some teal in this spread. So I'll use a couple different teals. So this is going to be Friday. Okay, and same thing. That's juicy. It's going to need to dry. Let me go ahead and do this one too, and then we'll do our quotes. This will be Saturday. Do y'all have a little kind of formula that you use in your journaling, whether you're behind or on time? These things are kind of part of my little formula that I've formed over time. I don't know why. I like doing the day of the week. If nothing else, I think it just does give me a little practice with hand lettering and being able to practice, being able to put that greater pressure down with the downstroke and then be able to lift on the upstroke. But I think by outlining with the ballpoint in kind of a messy fashion, it takes away the pressure of, it having to be perfect. So I don't know, I just like doing it. So let's see, what's our next quote here? Okay, this is going to be a short one. One sentence. Your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. I'm gonna switch this up a little and capitalize a couple of the keywords. Your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. Atomic habits. Okay, and then I might switch it up a little on this day too. He's got this chart within the book. Your habits can compound for you or against you. And so he gives examples of positive compounding and negative compounding. Productivity compounds, knowledge compounds, and relationships compound for the positive. Stress, negative thoughts, and outrage can compound for the negative. So I'm going to do a little makeshift chart to reflect that on this day. Your habits can compound for you or, and I'm going to run out of room, or against you. Against. Oh, I hate running out of room like that. We squeezed it in. Okay, so we're going to say positive compounding, and then negative compounding. If y'all have any suggestions of similar books, they don't even have to be about habits, but just any nonfiction book or like self-improvement book that you've read that you really enjoyed, if you'll drop that title in the comments, I would appreciate it, because I need to add some more books like this to my reading list. I've got an extensive reading list going for this year, but it's almost completely, or it is completely fiction at this point. I need to get some more nonfiction in the rotation. Productivity. Knowledge and relationships. And then negative compounding, stress, negative thoughts, or I would even venture to say self-talk, and outrage. I don't even like writing that word or hearing that. That word alone has such a negative connotation. And then this is like a nice 4-block tall strip here. That'll be a nice place for me to just lay down some washi that I like a little bit later. So I'm gonna go ahead and outline these headers with the day of the week. One thing I'm going to try to do later tonight when I'm winding down before bed, I had mentioned an idea that I had recently in my last video about this book, to incorporate more photographs. I wanted to go into my Procreate app and just make a quick collage sheet. And so one nice thing about that is I just use my iPhone to take all of my photos. And so when I'm going back through my albums in my phone, I can just tap on each photo and see the date that it was taken. So that'll make it very easy if I wanted to be accurate, or at least, somewhat accurate. I could just go back and choose some of my favorite photos, make that little collage and print it so I can get them all cut out, and then know exactly which day of this book to paste them in on. And that R got a little weird there. But anyway, I'm going to try. I've got my iPad on charge right now, so I'll be able to have a decent amount of time working on it tonight, and that's something that I can do toward the end of the night. See if I can make a little photo collage sheet for the month of August. Okay, so there's Friday and Saturday. So now we're on to Sunday and Monday, and still doing pretty good on time. So these are all blues. I don't always coordinate everything. Sometimes I intentionally try not to be matchy-matchy. But like on this particular day, this one has a little pink and yellow. So I'm just gonna kind of work off that and coordinate. So this will be Sunday. Oop. It's kind of awkward writing at this angle. Sunday. And this is where I left off, drawing in the little borders, which is absolutely not necessary, but I do like, for some reason, having some type of border, even if it's just literally a line of a marker. So that'll be something I'll do at a later time, is go back and add some borders on these remaining pages. And then this will be Monday. Let's do it in block print. And I like this yellow, so I'm going to do a little sketchy sunshine. Okay, and then our quotes, let's flip to the next page here. Breakthrough moments. I'm going to put quotes around that, even though they're not quoted in the book. Are often the result of many previous actions which build up the potential required to unleash a major change. So true. And what that reminds me of is, I think we often see what we see in others, what we're allowed to see in others. And sometimes it might look like on the surface someone is having this breakthrough moment, and we may think, oh, well, you know, that person is really lucky that this just happened for them like this, or, you know, all at once kind of thing. And, you know, sometimes there is something to that, but a lot of times I think this is more so the case. It may look like a breakthrough moment for us, and it may look like luck or something that just happened overnight, but the result that they're getting is most often probably the result of a lot of little things. I mean, they may have been working up toward that moment for months, if not years, and it took all of those little things finally building up to achieve that breakthrough moment. So that's a very good, kind of a profound quote. Let's see. Okay. Monday, August 7th was two of my boys' first day back at school. So I don't want a super long quote on this day, because I want to leave myself some real estate to affix a photo or two in here and journal about back to school this year. So this is a 3-word quote that will be perfect for this day. Mastery requires patience. And I'm going to make that in all caps for the keywords. Mastery requires patience. I like that. Okay. Let's do this quick outline. I'm assuming if you're still here, maybe you're journaling along with me, you must be at least somewhat interested in either this style of journaling, or maybe it's the Hobonichi that brought you here. If that's the case, I obviously don't blame you. But we are in the very middle of what I like to call Hobonichi season. I know they've been putting out their daily releases on the website that give hints about the upcoming product line. So let me know if y'all have been following along with that. What are y'all hoping to see in this year's lineup? Excited that they've already shared any of it. I would just love to get a little Hobonichi chit chat going in the comments. I know maybe 3 people in real life, IRL as the cool kids say, that are familiar with the Hobonichi brand and use their products, but unfortunately none of those 3 friends live local to me, so I have no one to talk about that subject with in real life, so I'd love to chat about it here. Okay. This is a longer quote, but I like it. Let me go ahead before I start choosing that and let this ink be drying for the day of the week. Let's see, I see some red in there. Let's go with purple over here. So this is going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. Where do I want it? Tuesday. And then let's go ahead and do a cursive for Wednesday with the color dot, just so y'all can see the difference. It definitely works for block print, but you can do it for cursive also. It just has a different look because you don't get the line variation that you do with the brush tip. It's more of a consistent line width. It's not that one way is right or wrong, but they do, to me, have, different aesthetic. It's Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, I'm going to go, looks like I've got maybe 5 more minutes on my 45 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and do these 2 quotes and outline and then call it a day. So that's not bad. I mean, I already had we started on day 2 and we'll finish day 9, so that's 7 pages. So you can, whatever you think. I think I get more done when I do it in batches like that. Okay. Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. So can systems be interchangeably used with routines? Maybe. This is interesting. Here he says, if you want better results, then forget about setting goals. Scandalous. It's a little controversial, huh? Focus on your system instead. What if my system is a bunch of squirrels at a rave? Okay, Atomic Habits. Okay, and we're just going to outline. And outline again. This kind of reminds me of the hand lettering I would do in like the junior high phase. The bubble letters. Y'all remember that? Bubble letter all the subjects on your notebook at school, or your trapper keeper, whatever you had. That was more like elementary for me. I'm telling off on myself. Okay, actually still have a couple minutes left, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and go back and just put in some very simple borders. On these last pages, let's see. Let's do a little dot line. These are the Posca paint markers. 0.9 to 1.3 millimeter. I think these are what is called the medium tip. Let's see. And sometimes I do the border like all the way around, like on a double page spread. I'm going to make these different. Do 2 separate borders on each one since it's 2 days, and just mix it up a little bit. And these are like paint marker, so not oil, but I guess maybe more like acrylic. And they dry matte and kind of chalky. So as far as I'm aware, from what I can remember, I believe they are waterproof, or at least water resistant, which is nice if you're gonna do some watercoloring or painting near them. Okay, and then what color do we want to use for Monday? Let's go with a pink. Let's just go with a kind of wavy line. It's hard for me to see from this angle. Here we go. Alrighty. Okay, I think that's going to be it for this little batch journaling session. If y'all want to keep journaling with me, then keep your supplies handy, and I will be back soon. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye.